everybody. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Well, let me say good evening. Good evening. Wait to see some people come up in the live. I'm gonna go ahead and say if you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, cut on post notifications so you never miss a video. Comment down below. I wanna see how everybody's doing today. Today is raining outside and it's just a miserable, miserable day. I will say that. Miserable day. So, see if anybody will come up in here. I could go ahead and start, but oh, wait a minute. Get my notes together. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and start. And about give me a few more minutes. One thing I don't like about this is the daggone freaking camera, dude. Okay, I'm gonna get started. Today I'm gonna talk about Little Rock 9, which is a American activist group. Okay. Little Rock 9, group of African American high school students would challenge racial segregation in the public schools of Little Rock, Arkansas. The group consisting of Melba, I don't know how to do their last name, Pablo, Ernest Green, Elizabeth, Minnie Jean Brown, Terrence Roberts, Carletta Walls, Jefferson Thomas, Gloria Ray, and Thelma Mother Shed became the center of the struggle to disintegrate public schools in the United States, especially in the South. The events that followed their enrollment in Little Rock Central High School provoked intense national debate about racial segregation and civil rights. What's happening, Chocolate Brother? I'm doing all right, man. Doing all right, man. I'm talking about Little Rock 9, which was they were American activists. And when you look at things, they've been busy. Okay, during the summer of 1957, the Little Rock 9 enrolled at Little Rock 9 High School, which until then had been all white. The students' effort to enroll was supported by the U.S. Supreme Court's decision in Brown versus Board of Education, 1954, which had declared segregation schooling to be unconstitutional. Wow, really? Warned by the Little Rock Board of Education not to attend the first day of school, the 9 African American students arrived on the second day, accompanied by a small interracial group of ministers. They encountered a large white mob in front of the school who began shouting, throwing stones, and threatening to kill the students. In addition, about 270 soldiers of the Arkansas National Guard sent by Arkansas Governor Eugene blocked the school's entrance. Eugene had declared his opposition to interrogation and his intent to defy a federal court order requiring desegregation. Boy, they went through it. Let's see. The confrontation in Little Rock drew international attention to racism and civil rights in the United States, as well as to the battle between federal and state power. Television and newspaper reporters devoted coverage to the Little Rock Nine. That's what they call them, the Little Rock Nine. Wow. Oh my Jesus. As the African American students were called, President Dwight W. Eisenhower, Governor Eugene, and Little Rock's Mayor Woodrow Mann discussed the situation over the course of 18 days, during which time the 9 students stayed home. That's something else. Please. All right, right. Um, let's see. What was that? Stay home. Okay. The students returned to the high school on September the 23rd, entering through a side door to avoid the protesters' attention and race. They were eventually discovered, however, and white protesters became violent, attacking African American bystanders as well as reporters of northern newspapers. The students were sent home, but they returned on September 25th, protected by the U.S. soldiers, despite Eisenhower's publicly stated reluctance to use federal troops to enforce desegregation. He recognized the potential for violence and state insubordination. He thus sent the elite, 101 First Airborne Division, called the Screaming Eagles, to Little Rock to place the Arkansas National Guard under federal command. Man, hey, man, they went through a lot. Okay. The Little Rock continued to face physical and verbal attacks from white students throughout their studies at Central High. One of the students, Miss Brown, Minnie Jean Brown, fought back and was expelled. The remaining 8 students, however, attended the school for the rest of the academic year. At the end of the year in 1958, senior Ernest Green became the first African American to graduate from Little Rock Central High School. Let's see. What was I at? You find where I was at, I'll be good to go. Oh, yeah, okay. All right. Anyway, he was, let's see. Forgot why was that? Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. Governor Eugene was reluctant in 1958, and rather than permit desegregation, he closed all of the Little Rock schools. Many school districts in the South followed Little Rock example, closing schools and implementing school choice programs and subsidized white students' attendance at public segregation academics, which were not covered by the Supreme Court decision. Little Rock Central High School did not report, no, oh, I'm sorry, did not reopen with a desegregated student body until 1960 in efforts to integrate schools and other public areas throughout the country continued throughout the 1960s. Let's see. The practice of restricting people to certain subscribe, my sorry, areas of my spelling is off. Let's see. The separate institution, schools, churches, and faculties park, playgrounds, restrooms on the base of race or alleged race. Racial segregation provides a means of maintaining the epic advantage and superior social state of the political dominant group. And in recent time, it has been employed primarily by white populations to maintain their ascendancy over other groups by means of legal and social color barriers. How history, however, varies among them. Asian, Mongols, African Baptists, and American Aztecs practice discrimination involving the segregation of subject races. What up, Tay Weezy? Judy Collins? How y'all doing out there? Hope y'all had a blessed evening so far. Okay, let's see. Racial segregation has appeared in all parts of the world where there are committees, except where racial occurred on a large scale, as in Hawaii and Brazil. In such countries, there has been occasionally social discrimination, but not legal segregation in the southern states of the United States. On the other hand, legal segregation in public facilities were occurring from the late 19th century into the 1950s. See, Jim Crow law, the civil rights and intimidated by, oh, I read it wrong. The civil rights movement was initially by Southern blacks in the 1950s and 60s to break the prevailing pattern of racial segregation. The movement spurred passage of the Civil Rights of 1964, which contained strong provisions against discrimination and segregation in voting, education, and the use of public facilities. Everywhere racial segregation is was practiced with the greatest rigor in South Africa, where under the system it was an effort government policy from 1950 till the early 1990s. Hmm. That's it for that right now. I'm gonna find me another one. Hey, gotta burn the time up. Let me find me another one right quick. Another one like history. Hold on one second. Let me find me another one. Nothing like another one. What y'all saying in the chat? Good evening, Judy May. It's ZZTV. What's going on? Good to see you up in the chat today. I'm so glad y'all came, man. Just, normally I'll be situated, but things happen. Let me see if I can find another one. Let's see. Let's talk about. I try to talk about Black history though, people that I never talked about before. Everybody know about Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. I want to touch on something a little bit different than that. That's why I've been going through this phone, which I found a couple of good ones in here. But let's see. Like I said, normally I'm ready, but last minute I was rushing to get online. I had to run to get online. Let's see, March on Washington. The Selma Montgomery March. The Southern landowners tried to restrict free. I don't know right now. I gotta find one. Who is this? A. Phillip Randolph. Let's see what he talking about. A. Phillip Randolph. Come on, Phillip. Come on, A. Phillip Randolph. Whoop, whoop. What y'all talking about in the chat? Oh, y'all talking? Okay. Y'all talking in the chat. That's what I'm talking about. Let me see. See how I do this. How I give y'all ranking though. I'll figure that out tomorrow. What I say his name was? A. Philip Randolph. Okay. Here we go. Boy, I love this tablet, man. This tablet right here, this Kindle. Bam. Okay, A. Philip Randolph. A. Philip Randolph, April the 15th, 1989 to May 16, 1979, was an American labor unionist and civil rights activist. In 1925, he organized and led the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters. Really? The first successful African American led labor union in the let's go. Let's see. In the early civil rights movement and the labor movement, Randolph was a prominent voice. His continuous with the support of fellow labor rights activists against racist, unfair labor practice eventually led President Franklin D. Roosevelt to issue Executive Order 8802 in 1941, banning discrimination in the defense industries. Under World War II, the group then successfully pressured President Harry S. Truman to issue Executive Orders 9980 and 9981 in 1948, promoting fair employment, anti-discrimination policy in federal government, hiring and ending racial segregation in the armed services. Who knew that? Let's see what y'all talking about in the chat. Let's see here. Oh, now I know how to do it, boo. Yeah, check a brother say, hey, Tay Weezy. Tay Weezy. Judy Mae Collins. What up, Doe Chocolate brother? Nothing much, just chilling, Tay Weezy. I hope everybody chilling. Hope everybody doing good, for real, for real. Let me see what else I can find on this brother. Randolph was born and raised in Florida, although he was able to attend a good education with his community at Cookout Institution. He did not see the future for himself in the discrimination Jim Crow era South and moved to New York City just before the Great Migration. That's how you say it. There, he became convinced that overcoming racism required collective action, and he was drawn to socialism and workers' rights. He unsuccessfully ran the state office on the socialistic ticket in the early 20s, but found more success in organizing for African American workers' rights. In 1943, Randolph was the head of the March on Washington, who was organized by Bayard Rustin, at which Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his I Have a Dream speech. Randolph inspired the Freedom Budget, sometimes called the Randolph Freedom Budget, which aimed to deal with the economic problems facing the Black community. It was published by the Randolph Institute in January 1957 as a freedom budget of all Americans. Then it goes on and on and on and on and on. Let's see here. That's all I'm going to speak about today. So today I spoke about little white rock or white little rock. And I spoke about Phillip Randolph. Now I'm gonna stay on here a little bit longer because hey, I got some things. Like they say, you got to pay them bills. Phillip Randolph and let me see this other group out here. Oh, Little Rock Nine. I'm sorry, Little Rock Nine and Phillip Randolph. Both of them went through heck. I can read and say that right now. They went through heck. Oh, through segregation. Man, they didn't want blacks in the school at all. But hey, what can you say? You ain't got nothing to say. It's all good in the hood. But I want to thank y'all for coming. Let me see who's the chocolate brother. What you talking about? Oh, you like that chocolate brother? That's what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about. I appreciate that, man. Thank you for speaking about Black history. Man, I'm doing it every day, man. It gets hard, but hey, I gotta jump on here. I gotta do it. Gotta do it. I'm glad you appreciate it. Glad you appreciate it. The only other hard part is I'm doing it off my phone. If I could do it off my computer, it'll be easier for me. I gotta buy me one of those what you call it, like little eyes. I gotta buy one for my computer. Yeah, it'll be easier for me. I can just sit there and it'll be right here instead of me looking over there. The camera is right here. That's the only hard part. It's the only hard part. Let me see what else I can do. Let me see what else I can find. Let's see. Who is this? Plessy, Vision, Ferguson, Rosa Parks. See if I can find somebody else to talk about. This is Black History Month. We got to honor Black history. I'm doing it 28 days. It's not hard. What they say is true. Now, game night, I can get up here all day, lollygag, do what I got to do. But as far as Black History Month, it's hard for me, and I don't know why. That shouldn't be hard for me at all. So let me find somebody else. So far, I've talked about, let me sum it up. First, I talked about Little Rock Nine. I've talked about, let me find the other one. What is it? Randolph. Let me see what it was. Little Rock Nine, Phillip Randolph. Both of them was based on segregation. So I mean, they went through heck, man. I just can't. So I'm glad I'm in the 2000s. I'm glad I'm in the well. I ain't gonna say 2000. Yeah, the 20th century. Let me see what else they got on here. Regular Douglas, Freedom Rider. See if we can find us another good one. Let's gonna talk about Black history from here on in, man. I'll be on here 9 hours. It's good. I gotta get this watch time. Judy Collins, what's going on? Thanks for coming in the building. All things Andrew channel. Hey, what's going on? Thanks for coming in the live. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. What this Black History thing going on? Trying to find some good ones. Like I said, everybody know about Martin Luther King, President Obama. I mean, there's new people. I want the old people. I used to do it on Facebook where I would scope out who I wanted to talk about. And on there, I talked about somebody that the first one who invented the refrigerator truck, all kinds of things, man. I mean, all kinds of things. But now I don't want to talk about that. No. I can find me an oldie but goodie. I'm gonna talk about the oldie but goodie, oldie but goodies. That's what I'm gonna talk about. Let me see here. Yeah, everybody know about the assassination of Malcolm X, and like I said, man, I don't want to talk about that. I just don't. Ain't nothing like, man. You got a lot of people here in Black history, man. Let's see. Like, and some of the words is ridiculous. I can't pronounce, but I sometimes I read the sentence, I skip over it, and it ties into the sentence, which is a good thing. So it's all good. Good evening. Good evening. Okay, let's get into this. What's this? Let's go with let me see what old Emmett Till talking about. I've heard of Emmett Till, but I never talked about Emmett Till. Okay, let's talk about Emmett Till. Emmett Till, a 14-year-old African American boy, was murdered in August 1955 in a racist attack that shocked the nation and provided a catalyst for the emerging civil rights movement. A Chicago native, Till was visiting relatives in Money, Mississippi. What kind of name is Money, Mississippi? Oh man. Anyway, Money, Mississippi. Uh, when he was accused of harassing a local white woman. Several days later, relatives of the woman abducted Till, brutally beating and killing him before disposing of his body in a nearby river. Really? Anyway, Till's devastated mother instead, insisted on a public open casket funeral for her son to shed light on the violence inflicted on black people in the South. Till's murder were acquitted, but his death, civil rights activists nationwide, Gallivant, Gallivant, or whatever. Emerald Lewis Till was born on July 25th, 1941 in Chicago, Illinois, the only child of Lewis and Mamie Till. Till never knew his father, a private in the United States Army during World War II. Emmett Till's mother was, by all accounts, an extraordinary woman. While raising Emmett Till was a single mother, she worked long hours for the Air Force as a clerk in charge of secret. They cut that out. Secret and confidential files. Let's see. When his mother often working more than 12 hours a day, Till took on his full share of domestic responsibilities from a very young age. Oh. His mother recalls Emmett had all the house responsibilities. I mean, everything from was really on his shoulders. And Emmett took it upon himself. He told me if I would work and make the money, he would take care of everything else. He cleaned and he cooked quite a bit. And he even took over the laundry. This brother right here was on the road. He was on the road. Okay. In August 1955, Till's great uncle Moss Wright came up from Mississippi, Money, Mississippi. uh, let me stop. Came back. Oh, wait a minute. Came up from Chicago. Okay, to visit the family in Chicago. At the end of his stay, Wright was planning to take Till's cousins Wheeler Parker back to Mississippi, Money, Mississippi, with him to visit relatives down south. And when Till learned of these plans, he begged his mother to let him go along. 3 days after arriving in Money, Mississippi, 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 uh, on August 24th, 1955, Emmett Till and a group of teenagers entered Bryant's grocery and meat market to buy refreshments after a long day picking cotton in a hot afternoon sun. What exactly transpired inside the grocery store that afternoon would never be known. Till purchased bubble gum, bubble gum, and some of the kids with him would later report that he entered, whistled at, flirted with, and touched the hand of the store's white female clerk and wife of the owner, Carolyn Bryant. No wonder. 4 days later, at approximately 2:30 in the morning, on August 28, 1955, Roy Bryant, Carolyn's husband, and his half-brother J.W. Milliam kidnapped Till from Moses Wright's home. They then beat the teenager brutally, dragged him to the bank to the bank of the river, shot him in the head, tied him with barbed wire to a large metal fan, and shoved his mutilated body in the river. Man, how disgusting can you be? I mean, who does that? Who does that, man? I don't get it. Let me see who's in the chat. Okay. Hi, Judy May. Franklin G Sports. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? I appreciate y'all coming in. Hope y'all enjoying it. Because it's a lot. Okay. Did you know in 2009 the original glass top casket that Emmett Till was buried in was acquired by Smithsonian National Museum of American History and Culture? Didn't know that. Till's body was shipped to Chicago, where his mom opted to have an open casket funeral with Till's body on display for 5 days. Thousands of people came to the Roberts Temple Church of God to see the evidence of this brutal hate crime. Till's mother said that despite the enormous pain it caused her to see her son's body on display, he opted for an open, she opted for an open casket funeral to let the world see that has happened, because there is no way I could describe this, and I needed somebody to help me tell what it was like. In the week that passed between Till's burial and the murder and kidnapping trial of Roy Bryant and J.W. Milliam, two black publications, Jet Magazine and the Chicago Defender, published graphic images of Till's corpse. By the time the trial commenced on September 19th, Emmett Till's murder had become a source of outrage and indignation throughout much of the county, because black people and women were barred from serving jury duty. Bryant and Milliam were tried before all-white, all-male jury in an act of extraordinary bravery. Moses Wright took the stand and identified Bryant and Milliam as Till's kidnappers and killers. At the time, it was almost unheard of the black people of openly accused whites in court, and by doing so, Wright put his own life in a grave danger. Despite the overwhelming evidence of the defendant's guilt and widespread pleas of justice from outside Mississippi, Money, Mississippi. On September the 23rd, the panel of white male jurors acquitted Bryan and Milliam of all charges. Their deliberations last a mere 67 minutes. Now they had all this evidence. I don't get how they acquitted them. I don't. I really don't. Only a few moments later, in January 1956, Bryan and Milliam admitted to committing the crime. Protected by double jeopardy laws, they told the whole story of how they kidnapped and killed Emmett Till to Look magazine for $4,000. Man, so they don't get on there and $4,000 later say what they did to this boy. That's a shame. Coming only 1 year after the Supreme Court's landmark decision in Brown versus Board of Education mandate the end of racial segregation in public schools, Till's death provided an important catalyst of the American Civil Rights Movement. In 2007, over 50 years after the murder, the woman who claimed Till harassed her recanted parts of her account, sparkling to a historical. Then 72-year-old Carolyn Bryant admitted Till didn't grab her. Nothing that boy did could have ever justified what happened to him. She told Timothy B. Tyson, who was writing a book about the case, the revelations weren't made public until 2017 when the book was released. In 2018, following Dornham's admission, the Justice Department opened a new inquiry into the case. Man, that's sad. It's a shame it took that long for them to get that together. And the woman back then said that he done the crime when he didn't even do the crime. I tell you, boy, some people out here, they don't do it. Well, they still do it now. I ain't gonna say they don't, but they still do it now. So I don't know. I just don't know. So just to re-innovate what I talked about, got you talking about Emmett Till. I've done one on uh, Little Rock 9. I did one on A Philpott. That's 3 stories. 3. I'm doing good, but I'm trying to bust a 400. But that reading, I don't get it, man. That boy was young as crap. He was young, and they got rid of him. Lied on him and got rid of him. And then wait all this time to say she rekindled her statement and said he didn't do none of this stuff. That's sad. Then you got people that's trying to go to school and they wouldn't let them go to school for the reason of segregation. I'm telling you, man, we got it good right now. We got it good. We got it good right now because Martin Luther King got up there and said he want every black child, every white child to be able to come together. We came together, but he still got some of these knuckleheads are still doing what they doing. Let me see right here. Talk about chilling. That's cool. You welcome. Frank G. What's going on? What's going on? Well, let me see. See if I can find one more. Let's do one more. Let's do one more. Let's see. Let's do one more. One more for your mind. One more for your mind. Whoa, do, do, do. One more, one more, one more. Do one more. Come on, baby, let's go. Yes, sir. What is the legendary Harlem Hellfighters? Man, hate it. I don't know. I'm just gonna sit out here and chill, man. See what's going on. I get up here. Try to stay on here for an hour. I don't want to read for an hour, but I want to stay on here for an hour. Well, I'm gonna end this live. If you're new to the channel, hey, like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, comment down below. I'll get back to the comments and everything when the live is over. Um, I don't know, man. Hey, here's what it is. If you missed it, please go back and look at the replay. I didn't do just one. I did three. Black History. I have to write down who I done so I won't redo them. And see y'all on the next live. Until the next time. Be there, be square. You're too blessed to be stressed. Peace. This sucker don't want to end. Wow.